Hello students, a very warm welcome to all of you. Myself Patel Pravada from PARAMGURU PATHSHALA English Medium School, SARSA. Today in this video I am going to discuss with you the third chapter from Standard 5 EVS, and the chapter name is From Tasting to Digestion. Students, in this video I am going to touch numbers of topics, and the topics are taste organ, that is tongue, function of tongue, chewing of food and its important, and digestive system of human being. So students, ready for that? Let's begin. Students, in your first chapter you have learned about our 5 sense organ, like sense of smell, and the organ is nose. Sense of sight, the organ name is eyes. Sense of touch, it is done by skin. Sense of hearing, which is done by ears. And the last one is sense of taste, which is done by, yes, of course, tongue. Students, this is the chapter about tasting as well as digesting. Here tasting means the sense of taste, from which we can taste whatever we intake or whatever we eat or whatever we put in our mouth. On the other hand, digesting means digestion of food in our stomach, in our digestive system. Students, you all are now standard 5. So in this chapter, the basic information delivered by this chapter about tasting and digestion. For example, in this chapter, it is referred clearly. When we take in food, we chew it with our teeth. We have 32 teeth, and not only that, but how we should chew a food in our mouth, it is also referred clearly in this chapter. How we should eat our food, how should we chew our food. As we know, often your mama tells you that chew the food well. Students, chewing of food is very important step of digestion. As in this process, by this process called chewing, food are converted into small pieces. It is converted into small particles and able to consume in our body by absorbing blood, and then send the food particle by blood in each part of our body. So chewing food by our teeth is the important point. The another thing is that when we chew the food, our tongue absorbs taste from the food and we get the taste. Students, it is very important to know you all that tongue has different taste buds. You can also see in the figure from which the taste bud we can taste different taste, just like sweet, bitter, spicy, sour, etc. You can see the image. In this image, you can see it is our tongue. The back part of our tongue has bitter taste. The two sides of the tongue recognize the sour taste of the food, and the middle portion of the tongue has sweet and salty taste bud. The front side of the tongue has sweet and salty taste bud, and the middle side of the tongue has sweet taste bud. So I repeat, the back side of the tongue recognize the bitter taste. The two opposite side of the tongue, the left and right side of the tongue, recognize the sour taste. The middle side of the tongue recognize the sweet food item, and the front side of the tongue identify the sweet as well as salty items. It is also true that tongue help us to mix the food with saliva. It is also true that tongue has a list of function, and first is to mix the food with saliva. Saliva means a kind of digestive juice which secrete in our mouth. The another function of tongue is it helps us the food to move left and right to left for proper chewing. It is also pushes back the food for swallowing the food. So these are the function of tongue which is done in our mouth. Students, as we know, we can recognize things or food item without seeing them, only just tasting them. For example, if you put 2 to 3 drops of lemon juice in your tongue, you can understand, identify that this taste is sour by only tasting them. So students, let's talk about this topic, this point according to your chapter. Students, in this chapter there is a little girl called Jhumpa. Her name is Jhumpa. She ran to her mother and catch her mother and tell her that she do not eat bitter gourd as she don't like the taste of bitter gourd, as it is taste bitter. Students, I think most of you do not like the bitter taste. You do same thing. You all like to eat those things which you like to taste, like the taste. Is not it? Yes. You all like to eat your favorite taste material, and most of the students do not like to eat bitter taste. In this chapter, Jhumpa then asking to her mother for gur and roti, sugar and roti. She want to eat gur and roti. Her mother smiled and said, Jhumpa, you ate roti and sugar in the morning. At that time, the another girl come there, and the girl name is Jhulan. Jhulan teased Jhumpa and said, you are not bored to eat the same kind of taste repeatedly? So Jhumpa replied quickly and said to Jhulan that do not get bored to eat liking imli. She said that I like to eat imli, but your mouth get watering after only hearing of the name of Emily. Jhumpa said this word to Julan that whenever she heard just name Emily, her mouth get watering by the name only. So Julan replied that sure Jhumpa, I like the taste of Emily. That is the sour taste, but it is not means that other taste product I do not eat. She said that I eat other taste product too, like salty, sweet, etc. She also said that she is not eat imli only. She also eat other food product too, like salty and sweet and bitter. After this all these things, Julan has get an idea in her mind. Let's see. After that, Julan tell Jhumpa to play an activity with her. She said to close her eyes and open her mouth without seeing the food item, only by tasting, recognize the food item and taste. First, Julan takes some drops of lemon and put it on her mouth of Jhumpa. Jhumpa replied quickly. She identified the item and she said that that is sour lemon. After that, Julan picked up a piece of jaggery and put it in Jhumpa's mouth. Again, Jhumpa identified the jaggery by its taste. They played this game with different food items. Even Jhumpa tell the fried fish without seeing and tasting, only by its smell. Now, as Jhumpa identified the fried fish just by its smell, Julan closed her nose and do the same activity with her, with different food item. Now Julan put a spoonful of food item in Jhumpa's mouth. Now this time Jhumpa was confused. She cannot recognize the food item. She find out whatever she was eaten, it was bitter. She just find out it that is a bitter, and it is also she find that it is a little bit salty and somehow little sour also. So she want to one more spoonful of this food item again. Then Julan gave one more spoonful of food item and said that here it is and it is a bitter gourd. So Jhumpa laughed and said, oh, I like this. So it is in this starting of the chapter, Jhumpa don't like the bitter gourd. But at the end of this activity, she used to like cooked karela, means bitter gourd. Next, here is an activity for this. For this activity, you have to clean your tongue and make it dry with clothes completely. After that, when we put an item of food, we can't recognize the taste. We cannot recognize the taste of the food item. How it is happen? Students, we have salivary gland in our mouth. When we put a food item in our mouth, saliva secrete from salivary gland and mix with the food when we chew the food. So we have salivary gland in our mouth from where saliva secretes, and when we chew the food with our teeth, the saliva, the digestive juices mix with the food item. At that time, the tasting buds which we have on our tongue absorb the taste from the food product, and we recognize the taste of the food. Now the next point is chew the food. and chew it well. So what is the difference between two statements, that is chew the food and chew the food well? Let's find out. Students, we all chew food and then swallow it. But when we chew a food repeatedly and chew it well, as a 30 to 32 times, 33 times, the food item break down into small pieces, small particles. For this reason, the digestive juices like saliva and other digestive juices mix with the food particles, food item well, and digestion process done easily. Then the components of food ready to absorb in our body, and transported the food components or nutrient in each part of our body by blood. The next topic is straight from the heart. In this section, we have to understand what happened to the food product when we put the food in our mouth, by which path it goes down and get digestion. So students, let's understand in detail. First, we should know what is digestive system. So students, here is the answer for you. Many organs work together. Many organs work together and form a system. This system helps to digest our food. This system together digest our food properly, and this is called digestive system. Let's go through in sequence with the help of a figure of human digestive system. Students, from the mouth, the food goes into our mouth. We take in food with our mouth. We put food item in our mouth. The mouth contains teeth, tongue, salivary glands. The teeth breaks the food into small pieces, chew it and grind it. Teeth chew the food and grind it. The temporary set of teeth grow when the child is the age of 6. And the set of teeth is called milk teeth. Whatever, the teeth grind the food particles. The next is a tongue. Our tongue is a fleshy muscular organ attached at the back to the floor of the mouth. It is free at the front and can be moved in all directions. The tongue performs several functions. We talked earlier that it mixing saliva with food. It helps to pushing and swallowing the food into food pipe. It helps in getting the different taste of food, which is all about this chapter. It has several taste buds that can distinguish from type of taste in food, that is salty, sour, bitter and sweet. And it also enables us to speak. Salivary gland produce saliva. The saliva converts the starch present in the food into sugar. Saliva also makes the food wet and slimy so that it can be easily swallowed by us. The tongue pushes the chewed food into a short muscular tube called pharynx. From the pharynx, the food goes into a long and narrow muscular tube called the food pipe. Food enters the food pipe. The walls of the esophagus, means food pipe, push the food down into the stomach. From food pipe, the food goes into the stomach The stomach is a J-shaped organ. The inner wall of the stomach contains a gastric gland which secrete gastric juices or digestive juices which digest the protein components. The next section is small intestine. The small intestine is the longer part of the digestive system. It is about 7.5 meter long. The wall of the small intestine also secretes such digestive juices which digest the food. In here, the partially digested food get mixed with juices and the process of digestion completely done in the small intestine. The process of absorption occurs in the small intestine too. Now the next portion is large intestine. The food that remain undigested passes from the small intestine into the large intestine, which is wider and shorter than the small intestine. It is about 1.5 meters in length. Large intestines absorb water and some salt from the undigested food. Due to this, the undigested food becomes dry and almost semi-solid. This is known as feces and it is stored in the rectum. Feces is passed out of the body through the anus time to time. So here it is the digestive system of human being, which is the long path to go for food to digest. So students, here we read and finish the first part of the chapter 3. Rest of the chapter we will discuss in our next video. So that is the end of this video. Thank you so much. Thank you for joining me.